Hi, grade 11s. Today we'll be finding quadratic equations in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 when a root or roots of that equation is or are given. Now we may wonder what that means when they talk about root or roots. You will recall previously that when we are solving quadratic equations ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, at some stage we used the formula x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That formula gave us two values of x, one x value or the other x value. Those x values that we got are called roots of that particular equation. Now, suppose you were given the roots. Is it possible for you to get the original equation? So that is what we are going to look at today. Let's look at some of the examples and see how this thing goes. Here's an example. It says, find a quadratic equation given that the roots are 5 and minus 3. So we know that the roots are a 5 and a minus 3. What does that mean? This means that x is equal to 5, and this one means that x is equal to minus 3. Those are the roots because those are the values that we get when we solve a quadratic and say x is a number or x is the other number. So those are the two roots. Now, how do we go back and get the equation? Now, since we know that x is equal to 5 or the x is equal to minus 3, we can reverse the process by taking the 5 across. So then I'll get x minus 5 is equal to 0. And here if I take this across, I'll get x, then minus 3 to the other side becomes plus at 3 is equal to 0. These are factors that came from a quadratic equation, which was x minus 5 and x plus 3 when that was equal to 0. So obviously now we do have the quadratic equation, but it should be in this form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So obviously it means that we've got to remove brackets here. So we multiply this. Remember, when you multiply out, the x multiplies there, also multiplies there. The minus 5 multiplies there, also multiplies there. Therefore, our quadratic equation x times x there will be x squared, x times the 3 there is plus 3x, minus 5 times an x is minus 5x, minus 5 times that is minus 15, which is equal to 0. Those are like terms there. So I'll have x squared, these two gives me minus 2x, then minus 15 is equal to 0. That's my answer, done. So we found the quadratic equation when the roots are 5 and the minus 3. Let's look at another example. Another example says, find a quadratic equation given that the roots are 2 over 3 and minus 1 over 5. What does that mean? It means that x is equal to 2 over 3, and this one means that x is equal to a minus 1 over 5. So we do have the roots there. So therefore we can say now, if x is equal to 2 over 3, the other one says x is equal to minus 1 over 5. We've got to reverse this thing here. So when we reverse the process of getting this answer here. Remember that this 3 came from dividing from that side here. So we'll take the 3 going to the other side, and I have a 3x, which would be equal to 2. Now I'll take a 2 to the other side, and I'll have a 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So I've got a factor from a quadratic. We'll do the same thing here. I'll take a 5 to the other side, it will multiply, then I'll have a 5x is equal to minus 1. Then I'll take a minus 1 to the other side, then I have 5x plus 1, which is equal to 0. Now I do have the two factors of the quadratic. Therefore, I'll have now a 3x minus 2 times this one, which is 5x plus 1, which is equal to 0. And then removing the brackets, it means that I'll just remove by multiplying this and this and that and that and this and this and this will equal to 0. So 3x times this will be a 15x squared 3x times that is a plus a 3x, a minus 2 times a 5x is a minus 10x, a minus 2 times that is minus a 2, which is equal to 0. Obviously, these are like terms, so I've got 15x squared. The plus 3x minus 10x is a minus 7x, then a minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, now we do have our own quadratic equation, which is required here. Let's look at another example. Now, in this question here, they say given that one root, so we're only given one root of this equation here, they say it is minus 2. That is one root of this given equation. But you can see in this equation here, that's a value that we don't know. So we don't know this value, which means that somehow they'll ask us, check, they say find the value of p. They do ask us to find the value of p and the other root. Now let's check how we can do. So we know that this is one root. So we know that x is equal to minus 2, right? If now x is minus 2, at this point we don't have another factor, so we can another root, so we cannot put the two brackets in. So the best thing is take this x as minus 2 and plug it in there, because we know that x is minus 2. So I will say, if we know that x is minus 2, right, we know that x minus 2, I can plug it in there. Therefore, it means that 4 times the minus 2, which is squared, because we said x is minus 2, then plus a p times a minus 2, then minus 6 is equal to 0. If I solve here, simplify this thing here, I'll get the minus 2 squared is a 4 times 4, that is 16, and this gives us a minus 2p, then minus 6, which is equal to 0. Obviously, those are the like terms, so I'll have a minus 2p, then plus a 10, which is equal to 0. So minus 2p gives us a minus 10, so the p value is equal to a 5. Now we know that p is 5, I can plug it in there. And therefore, the quadratic equation is 4x squared and the p value is 5, so it's plus a 5x, then minus 6, which is equal to 0. Now note that they said we must find the other root. So it's up to you how you find the other root. It's either you use the form that you know that if x minus 2, x is equal to minus 2, will give you a factor. So let's try that way. The book will show you another method of doing this. We know that you've got x minus 2 over there. If I've got x minus 2, what does that mean? Check that. So I've got x equals minus 2. If you take this across, you get x plus 2, which is equal to 0. So that would be one factor which I can put here. So I know that this thing here is the same as saying I've got x plus 2 times another bracket which is equal to 0. Now let's think how we can get to that thing there. Let's try and get this thing here. So check, the x times something should give me 4x squared there. If that is x, that should be a 4x to get the 4x squared, right? Then the next one here, I've got a plus 2 here, but I want to get minus 6. So plus 2 times something will give me minus 6. What will that thing be? That thing will be a minus a 3, because a positive 2 times minus 3 will give you 6. So I've got the factors there. So therefore, the question was find p, which we did get. P was that. The other root, so we can find the other root from this one here. So from this, because x is minus 2, we know was the other root, was the one root that was given. So the other root we can find from here. So therefore, now we'll have 4x minus 3 equals 0 here. So 4x is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3 over 4. That will be the other root. So the other root that you are looking for is 3 over 4. Right? Now, for your own, can you try from your textbook, grade 11 Siavula textbook, chapter 2, you do 2.5. It says finding the equation. You do exercise 2.5. This is based exactly on what you've been doing. But this one, exercise 2.6, is the previous way of solving equations when you are given a quadratic equation. Okay, good luck, grade 11s. This is nice. Try and do these problems. They're so nice that you can enjoy them if you do them all the time.